Here I will cover enemy characters who don't have a member who is encountered randomly in battle. I will not cover enemy families that contain a boss or a mini-boss again. It's a little odd to put Mimic with bosses, but it is a completely unique, always scripted encounter. It makes sense if you consider it a mini-boss. They look like a cross between a treasure chest and an insect, or in Dark Dawn they have a pop-up head like a jack-in-the-box. Tret or Treat is a nature spirit or elemental known as a Waelda, which is meant to sound like an elder, much as his name is meant to sound similar to Treant, the generic form of Tolkien's Ent. Tret is an ancient, wise forest being, much like the Ents. However, this aspect of the Ents was not where Tolkien showed originality. In fact, he cited ancient legends of old, wise talking trees as inspiration for his old, wise walking talking trees. Many cultures, including Greece, India, and the Celts, have stories of enlightened trees teaching them lessons. Tret and his companion Laurel, named after a type of tree, are not actually trees. In reality, trees have grown around their true forms, and the entire forest of Kolyma is all an extension of Tret and Laurel. Saturos' name could reference too many things to be sure of any intended origin or meaning. Perhaps it was entirely made up. Otherwise, it might be a reference to Saturn, the Roman god of time, because of his time-sensitive mission. In other languages, he is called Salamander, which is fitting considering he's a reptilian fire adept. His partner, Minardi's name, is similar to a type of moth, and a portion in Latin means burning, and they are fire adepts. Krakens are giant squid or octopi that terrorize the region formerly known as the Norse Empire, and they destroy boats for fun. Krakens have become common monsters in fiction, regardless of setting, even replacing other sea monsters such as Cetus. Azart, one of the fightable warriors, means passion or fervor in Russian. Galahad, another unfightable warrior, was named after the gallant son of Sir Lancelot, which is just painful when you remember the name of the company making the game. Satrich, Deka, and Navampa are other fighters, but their names don't appear to mean anything. Then you had oddballs like Morgan and Buford. This is a two-headed dragon formed by the two reptilian Mars adepts Saturos and Minardi, powered up by the Venus energy. Two-headed dragons and people turning into dragons have all been themes throughout human history, but this is an original take. This was the first super boss. In Japan he was named Talos, and based closely on the design of Talos from Shining Force 2, a franchise Camelot created for Sega as a second-party developer prior to changing their name and becoming a Nintendo second-party, while Sega grew cold and distant while prepping for the Dreamcast launch that knocked Sega out of the console business, which would have forced them to go to Nintendo anyway. Talos was based on the Metal Man built by Daedalus. In America, he was known as Deadbeard due to being a pirate, playing on the pirate naming code of Blank Beard, started by the infamy of Blackbeard. So since he's a cursed, dead pirate ghost haunting a suit of armor, he is Deadbeard. Briggs was a former fisherman turned pirate and a major NPC. His name refers to the part of a ship where prisoners are kept, perhaps alluding to the less ideal things he had to do to keep his people from starving. He's accompanied by recolored lackeys known as sea fighters. Serpent simply means snake or dragon. However, its Japanese name, Orochi, alludes to a myth. In fact, you play a retelling of that myth. In the myth, Susanoo leaves heaven after a fight with his sister, Amaterasu. Yeah, from Okami. Same myth, basically. He comes upon a region called Izumo, being terrorized by the multi-headed Yamata Orochi. He agreed to aid the town if they would let him marry the woman about to be sacrificed, Kushi Inida Hime. Then he went down to meet with Yamata Orochi, proceeded to offer each head barrel after barrel of sake, until the monster was too drunk to function, at which point he diced Yamata Orochi into tiny bits to make extra sure it was dead, because you don't take chances with hungover snake dragons. While dicing, he discovered a sword at Orochi's tail, and took it and called it Kusanagi. Well, actually he called it something else originally that translated clumsily as something like Divine Stormcloud Sword, because he was the god of storms and needed a signature weapon to apologize to his sister with. In Golden Sun, you fight this boss in Izumo. The sacrificial lady is Kushanida. Susa, although being mortal, is in love with Kushanida, and carries Saki down to get the serpent wasted, and then he tries to cut it and failed. Then he tried it again after Felix weakened it and slayed it in 1 second blow. And then at its tail, a sword called Cloudbrand appeared. Poseidon was the Greek Olympian of the ocean and inspiration for the Romans' XP, Neptune. He was known for his beard and for carrying a trident, so it only seems fitting to make him like a fusion merman. Mappa is based on a Native American chief. In Japan, his people are known as the Navajo. Also of note is, like Briggs, he has minions called knights or warriors in Japan, knights being odd considering the Native American theme. Their names don't seem to mean anything at all, which they kind of felt tacked on, like maybe Saturos and Minardi were planning to return again. Karst is Minardi's sister, however, and oddly, Ignacio and Karst suffer a similar fate of being transformed into dragons and dying, though entirely involuntarily. Similar to Saturos, Minardi, Karst, and Ignacio, the fusion of Mars energy and Venus energy creates a second fusion dragon. Like Karst and Ignacio, this is another unwilling transformation, in this case formed by using Isaac and Felix in an attempt to prevent them from lighting the last lighthouse. Ready to head back to the origin of modern fantasy? Tolkien? No? Too bad. That's where we have to go. The Japanese name for this superboss is Balrog, and this is where we must start, to avoid going into crazy depths because Tolkien was a crazy guy who paid way too much attention to detail. Gandalf and his kind are basically Tolkien's version of angels, and Balrogs are his fallen angels. If Gandalf embraced his rebellious streak in high school, he might have been a Balrog. As fiery dark beasts, they fit the demon stereotype well, and as a Mars superboss, Valukar is a faithful homage. Valukar's name actually comes from dropping an awkward syllable in the elfish word for Balrog. If only Valukar wielded a flaming whip. As underwhelming as this may be, a Sentinel is anybody who watches or guards. So quite literally, he's a Sentinel because he guards a summon tablet, like Valukar. Any human magical or robotic gatekeeper is a Sentinel. Perhaps the most famous was Argus Panoptos, a 100-eyed monster. And remember, share everywhere if you care.